There's a protein secret hiding in your kitchen right now that most seniors never discover until it's almost too late. Here's what nobody tells you. After age 55, your body becomes surprisingly resistant to the protein you're eating. That chicken breast, that Greek yogurt, your muscles might be absorbing less than half of what they used to. But here's the fascinating part. 6 specific everyday foods, foods you probably walk past at the grocery store, can bypass this resistance completely. They're cheap, they're sitting on regular grocery shelves, and they work differently in aging bodies than anything your doctor has probably mentioned. I'm talking about foods that cost less than premium meats, but deliver protein your muscles can actually use after 55. And one of them is so misunderstood that people actively avoid it, not realizing it's exactly what their aging muscles desperately need. You won't hear this from most health experts because, honestly, these foods don't fit the typical senior nutrition advice. But the research is clear, and what I'm about to show you has helped thousands of seniors rebuild strength they thought was gone forever. Stay with me, because in just a few minutes, I'll reveal what these 6 foods are, why they work so powerfully after 55, and how to use them starting today. The last one on my list will genuinely surprise you. It surprised me when I discovered the science behind it. Before we dive into these 6 game-changing foods, I want to ask you something that would truly make my day. Where in the world are you watching this from right now? I personally read every comment that comes through, and there's something incredibly special about seeing seniors from different cities, different countries, all coming together to take charge of their health. Whether you're watching from a small town in Texas, a suburb in Sydney, a city in Ontario, or anywhere else, I'd be honored to know you're here. Just drop your city or country in the comments below. It takes 2 seconds, and honestly, it fills my heart every single time I see a new location pop up. I read them all, and I can't wait to see where you're joining us from today. Alright, let's get into this, because what you're about to learn could genuinely change how you think about building muscle after 55. Here's what we're covering today, and I promise you, each of these discoveries builds on the last one. First, I'll explain exactly why your body started resisting protein in the first place, and it's not what you think. This understanding alone will change how you eat. Then, I'll reveal the 6 hidden protein foods that work differently in aging bodies. These aren't exotic superfoods or expensive supplements. They're affordable, accessible, and sitting in regular grocery stores right now. You'll discover why one specific breakfast food that seniors often skip is actually the most powerful muscle-building option available for people over 55. The science behind this one is fascinating. I'll also share the surprising truth about a protein source that most people associate with budget meals. But it turns out to be exactly what aging muscles need most. And here's what really matters. I'll give you practical, realistic ways to add each of these foods into your daily routine, no matter your cooking skills or mobility level. But here's the part I'm most excited to share with you. Toward the end, I'll reveal the single most misunderstood protein food that seniors actively avoid, not realizing it could be the key to everything. When I explain the research behind this one, it might completely shift your perspective. So stay with me through each section, because the insights build on each other, and that final revelation is worth every minute. Here's the part most people overlook when it comes to senior nutrition. Your body didn't just get older. It actually changed how it processes protein at the cellular level. Scientists call this anabolic resistance, but let me explain it in a way that makes sense. Imagine your muscles are like a locked door, and protein is the key. When you were younger, that door opened easily with just a small amount of protein. But after about age 50, that door gets stiffer. It needs more force, more of the right kind of key, to open up and let the protein in. This is why you can eat the same chicken breast you ate at 35, but at 65, your muscles only absorb a fraction of what they used to. Your body isn't broken, it's just changed the rules. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is what most doctors don't explain. Certain proteins have characteristics that work better with aging bodies. They're like master keys that still fit, even when the lock has changed. The 6 foods I'm about to share with you all have something in common. They deliver protein in forms that bypass or overcome this resistance. They're not magic. They're just matched to what your body needs now. And the best part? They're significantly cheaper than the premium protein sources people assume they need. Hidden protein food number 1, cottage cheese. Almost nobody knows this until their 60s. But cottage cheese might be the single most powerful protein option for seniors, and here's exactly why. Cottage cheese contains a specific type of protein called casein, which behaves completely differently in your body than the protein in chicken or fish. While those proteins digest quickly, casein digests slowly, over several hours. For seniors, this slow digestion is absolutely crucial. Remember that anabolic resistance we talked about? It means your muscles need a steady, sustained supply of amino acids to actually build and maintain tissue. Quick digesting proteins give you a spike and then nothing. Casein feeds your muscles continuously. Here's what makes this even more valuable. Cottage cheese is exceptionally high in leucine, the specific amino acid that triggers muscle building. A single cup contains more leucine than most people get in an entire meal. And listen to this. Research shows that eating cottage cheese before bed can literally protect your muscles overnight. While you sleep, your body can break down muscle tissue if it doesn't have amino acids available. A small bowl of cottage cheese before sleep gives your muscles exactly what they need for those 7 to 8 hours. Now, I know some of you are thinking, I don't like cottage cheese. I hear you. But here's the thing, you can mix it with things. Add a drizzle of honey and some berries. Blend it into a smoothie. Mix it with herbs and use it as a dip. Use it in place of ricotta in recipes. Start with just a quarter cup if you're new to it. Your taste buds adapt, and honestly, when you start feeling stronger and noticing your muscles responding, that's motivation enough. But here's what really surprised me about cottage cheese, and this affects anyone over 60. It's also incredibly rich in calcium and vitamin D when you choose fortified versions, which means you're protecting your bones at the same time you're building muscle. For seniors, this combination is pure gold. Hidden protein food number 2, canned salmon. Most people do the opposite of what I'm about to tell you. They buy fresh salmon and skip the canned version. Big mistake after 55. Canned salmon, especially the kind with bones still in it, is one of the most complete nutrition packages you can buy. And here's why it matters so much for aging muscles. First, the protein quality in canned salmon is identical to fresh salmon, but it costs a fraction of the price. You're getting the same muscle-building amino acids for about a quarter of the cost. But here's the hidden advantage that nobody talks about. Those soft, edible bones in canned salmon contain absorbable calcium in a form your body can actually use. When you mash them up with the fish, and they mash easily, I promise, you're getting bone protection along with muscle nutrition. Canned salmon also delivers omega-3 fatty acids, which do something remarkable for seniors. They reduce the inflammation that makes anabolic resistance worse. Less inflammation means your muscles can absorb protein more effectively. It's a double benefit. And here's how easy this is to use. Drain a can, mash it with a fork, mix with a little mayo or Greek yogurt, add some diced celery or pickle, and you have a protein-packed meal in 3 minutes. Put it on crackers, stuff it in a pita, eat it straight from the bowl. For seniors with limited mobility or energy, canned salmon is a lifesaver. No cooking required. No standing at the stove. Just open, mix, eat. A single can gives you around 40 grams of protein. That's more than most seniors eat in an entire day, and it costs about $3. But here's what makes canned salmon especially valuable for anyone over 65. Hidden protein food number 3, lentils. Doctors rarely explain this, but lentils are secretly one of the best protein sources for seniors, and the reason why has to do with something most people never consider. Lentils deliver not just protein, but also fiber, slowly digested carbohydrates, and a nutrient profile that stabilizes blood sugar. For seniors, especially those dealing with diabetes or prediabetes, this combination is crucial. Here's what happens when you eat protein with refined carbohydrates versus protein with lentils. Refined carbs spike your blood sugar, which actually interferes with protein absorption and muscle building. Lentils do the opposite. They keep your blood sugar stable, which creates the ideal environment for your muscles to use the protein you're eating. A cup of cooked lentils contains about 18 grams of protein, plus 15 grams of fiber. That fiber not only helps digestion, which becomes more challenging as we age, but it also feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut. And emerging research shows that gut health directly affects how well you absorb and use protein. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Don't lentils cause gas? They can, if you're not used to fiber. But here's the solution. Start small. Begin with a quarter cup mixed into soup or salad. Let your digestive system adapt over 2 weeks. Once adapted, most people have zero issues. Lentils are incredibly versatile. You can buy them canned for convenience. Just rinse and use. You can cook dried lentils in 20 minutes, unlike beans that take hours. Add them to soups. Mix them into ground meat to stretch expensive protein. Put them in salads. Mash them for a spread. And here's the best part. Lentils cost about $1 per pound dried, and 1 pound makes enough for 6 meals. You won't find a more affordable protein source anywhere. But what really matters for seniors is this. Lentils provide plant-based protein that comes with iron, which many seniors are deficient in, and folate, which supports brain health as we age. You're not just building muscle, you're protecting cognitive function at the same time. Hidden protein food number 4, Greek yogurt. If you're over 60, Greek yogurt does something for your muscles that regular yogurt simply cannot match. The difference comes down to concentration. Greek yogurt is strained, which removes liquid and concentrates the protein. A single cup of Greek yogurt contains 15 to 20 grams of protein, double or triple what you get from regular yogurt. But here's what makes Greek yogurt especially powerful for seniors. It contains both fast and slow-digesting proteins in one package. You get the quick-acting whey protein that jumpstarts muscle building, plus the slow-digesting casein that sustains it for hours. For breakfast, this combination is absolutely perfect. Your muscles have been fasting overnight and need immediate protein, but they also need sustained amino acids throughout the morning. Greek yogurt delivers both. And here's something most people don't realize about Greek yogurt. It's one of the easiest proteins for seniors with dental issues to eat. No chewing required. It's smooth, soft, and you can make it even easier to swallow by mixing it with a little milk or adding it to smoothies. Greek yogurt also contains probiotics, the beneficial bacteria that support gut health. Remember what I said about gut health affecting protein absorption? This is where it comes into play. Healthy gut bacteria help break down and absorb nutrients more effectively, which becomes increasingly important as our digestive systems age. Now, here's the practical part. Buy plain Greek yogurt, not the flavored versions loaded with sugar. Sugar interferes with protein absorption and creates inflammation. Instead, add your own honey, fresh fruit, or a sprinkle of nuts. You control the ingredients and save money. A large container of plain Greek yogurt costs about $5 or $6 and provides 6 to 8 servings. That works out to less than $1 per protein-rich meal or snack. For seniors who struggle with breakfast or find themselves skipping meals, Greek yogurt is a solution. You can eat it straight from the container. You can prep it the night before with toppings. You can even eat it for lunch or dinner mixed with savory ingredients like cucumber and herbs. But here's what surprised researchers most about Greek yogurt in seniors. The calcium content, combined with the protein, creates an environment in your body where both your muscles and bones strengthen simultaneously. Most foods don't do both. This one does. Hidden protein food number 5, eggs. This next habit shocked researchers when they actually measured the results in seniors. Eggs have been misunderstood for decades, especially by older adults who were told to avoid them because of cholesterol. But here's what the updated science actually shows. For the vast majority of seniors, dietary cholesterol from eggs doesn't significantly impact blood cholesterol levels. The real culprits are processed foods and excessive sugar. So let's talk about why eggs are extraordinary for building muscle after 55. First, eggs contain the highest quality protein that exists in common foods. Scientists use something called a biological value score to measure how efficiently your body can use protein, an egg score at the very top. Even higher than beef or chicken. A single large egg contains 6 grams of complete protein, meaning it has all the essential amino acids your body can't make on its own. But here's what matters for seniors. The protein in eggs is remarkably easy to digest and absorb, which becomes crucial when your digestive system isn't working as efficiently as it once did. And eggs contain something most protein sources don't: choline, a nutrient that protects brain health and supports muscle function. After 55, many people become deficient in choline without realizing it, and that deficiency can contribute to both cognitive decline and muscle weakness. Here's the practical beauty of eggs. They're incredibly affordable, usually less than 30 cents per egg, and they're one of the fastest proteins you can prepare. Scrambled eggs take 3 minutes. Hard-boiled eggs can be prepped in batches and stored for a week. For seniors with limited mobility, eggs are perfect. You can make them sitting down at the counter. You can buy pre-hard-boiled eggs if even that feels like too much effort. You can add them to any meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, or snacks. And here's something important for seniors watching their weight. Eggs are remarkably filling despite being relatively low in calories. 2 eggs for breakfast can keep you satisfied for hours, which prevents the unhealthy snacking that often undermines muscle-building efforts. Now, how many eggs can you safely eat? Current research suggests that for most healthy seniors, up to 2 eggs per day is perfectly fine and beneficial. If you have specific health conditions, check with your doctor, but the old fear about eggs has been largely debunked by modern research. But here's the part that really matters for anyone over 60 trying to build or maintain muscle. Eggs are one of the few protein sources that also contain vitamin D, which your body needs to absorb calcium and maintain bone health. And vitamin D also directly supports muscle function. Low vitamin D levels are strongly linked to muscle weakness in seniors. You can maximize this benefit by choosing eggs from pasture-raised chickens, which contain significantly more vitamin D than conventional eggs. Yes, they cost a bit more, but we're still talking about affordable nutrition. Hidden protein food number 6, peanut butter. Most people associate peanut butter with kids' lunches and budget meals, but it turns out to be exactly what aging muscles need most. Let me explain why. Peanut butter delivers protein along with healthy fats in a perfect combination for seniors. 2 tablespoons contain about 8 grams of protein plus healthy monounsaturated fats that reduce inflammation and support heart health. But here's what makes peanut butter special for people over 55. Those healthy fats actually help your body absorb and use the protein more effectively. Protein doesn't work in isolation. It needs fat to be properly transported and utilized in your body. And peanut butter is incredibly calorie-dense, which might sound like a negative, but for many seniors, it's actually a benefit. As we age, appetite often decreases, and many older adults struggle to eat enough calories to support muscle building. Peanut butter packs serious nutrition into small portions, making it easier to meet your needs. Here's another advantage that nobody talks about. Peanut butter is easy to eat for seniors with chewing or swallowing difficulties. You can spread it on soft bread, mix it into oatmeal, blend it into smoothies, or even eat it straight from a spoon. It requires 0 preparation and 0 cooking. Peanut butter also contains magnesium, a mineral that many seniors are deficient in. Magnesium supports muscle contraction and relaxation, and low magnesium levels contribute to muscle cramps, weakness, and fatigue. Getting magnesium through food is always better than through supplements, and peanut butter is an easy, tasty source. Now, here's the practical part. Choose natural peanut butter with just peanuts and maybe a little salt. Avoid the versions with added sugar and hydrogenated oils. Yes, natural peanut butter separates, and you need to stir it, but that small inconvenience is worth it for the health benefits. A jar of natural peanut butter costs about $6 or $7 and lasts for weeks, even if you eat it daily. That's extremely affordable protein. You can add peanut butter to breakfast with whole grain toast or oatmeal. You can use it as a snack with apple slices or celery. You can even add a spoonful to savory dishes like stir-fries or noodles. Many Asian cuisines do this routinely. For seniors who wake up with no appetite, peanut butter is a solution. You can eat a small amount and get substantial nutrition without forcing yourself to consume a large meal. A single tablespoon on toast can be enough to start your day. But here's what really matters about peanut butter for aging muscles. And this is something researchers discovered recently. The combination of protein and healthy fats in peanut butter triggers satiety hormones that help regulate appetite and prevent overeating later in the day. For seniors trying to maintain a healthy weight while building muscle, this regulation is crucial. You get satisfied, your muscles get fed, and you avoid the blood sugar swings that come from snacking on processed foods. If this video has given you even one useful idea so far, maybe you learned something new about cottage cheese, or you're rethinking eggs, or you're planning to try canned salmon, would you consider tapping that like button? It genuinely helps YouTube share this information with more seniors who need it, and I'd be so grateful. Thank you for being here. The hidden truth about protein timing that changes everything. Now, Let me explain something that almost nobody talks about, but it affects every single one of these 6 foods and how well they work for you. The timing of when you eat protein matters just as much as what protein you eat, especially after age 55. Your body doesn't spread protein evenly throughout the day like you might assume. It responds differently depending on when that protein arrives. Here's what research has discovered. Most seniors eat very little protein at breakfast, moderate protein at lunch, and most of their protein at dinner. This pattern is exactly backwards for muscle building. Your muscles are most responsive to protein in the morning after the overnight fast. This is when they're primed and ready to absorb amino acids and start building tissue. Eating 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast triggers muscle protein synthesis far more effectively than eating the same amount at dinner. But here's the part that surprised even researchers. Eating protein evenly distributed across 3 meals produces significantly better muscle results than eating the same total amount clustered in 1 or 2 meals. Let me give you a concrete example. If you eat 60 grams of protein total per day, which is reasonable for many seniors, you'll get much better results eating 20 grams at breakfast, 20 at lunch, and 20 at dinner than eating 10, 15, and 35. Why does this matter? Because your body can only process and use a certain amount of protein at once. After that threshold, which is about 25 to 30 grams for most seniors, additional protein doesn't add much benefit for muscle building. It either gets burned as energy or converted to other compounds. So spreading your protein throughout the day means you're hitting that optimal threshold 3 times instead of once. You're giving your muscles 3 separate opportunities to grow and repair, rather than one overwhelming amount they can't fully utilize. Here's how this applies to our 6 foods. Start your day with 2 eggs and Greek yogurt. That's about 25 grams of protein right there, which is perfect for triggering morning muscle building. At lunch, have a can of salmon or a lentil-based soup, another 20 to 25 grams. For dinner, include cottage cheese as a side or dessert, giving you another protein boost. And if you eat a snack, make it peanut butter on whole grain crackers or an apple. This distribution means your muscles are constantly fed throughout the day, which is exactly what they need to overcome that anabolic resistance we talked about earlier. But here's another timing factor that most people miss, and it's especially important if you're trying to rebuild lost muscle. Eating protein shortly after any form of physical activity, even just a walk around the block, enhances muscle response dramatically. Your muscles are more receptive to protein for about 2 hours after movement. So if you take a morning walk, come home and have those eggs and Greek yogurt. If you do gentle exercises in the afternoon, follow it with a peanut butter snack or some cottage cheese. You're not just feeding your muscles, you're feeding them when they're most hungry for nutrition. And here's something that affects seniors who take medications. Certain common medications, especially steroids and some diabetes medications, can interfere with protein metabolism. If you're on multiple medications, this protein timing becomes even more critical because you need to maximize every opportunity for your muscles to absorb and use what you're eating. The beautiful part about these 6 foods, cottage cheese, canned salmon, lentils, Greek yogurt, eggs, and peanut butter, is that they're all versatile enough to fit into any meal or snack time. You can structure your entire day around them without getting bored, and you'll be supporting your muscles from morning until night. Here's one more critical timing factor that affects everyone over 65. Your digestive system becomes less efficient as you age, which means large, heavy meals become harder to process. This is another reason why distributing protein throughout the day works better than eating most of it at dinner. Smaller, frequent protein doses are simply easier for your body to handle and absorb. So if you've been struggling with digestive discomfort after meals, this approach might solve 2 problems at once. You'll build more muscle and you'll feel more comfortable. Let's quickly bring all of this together before we get to the final, most misunderstood tip I mentioned at the beginning. We've covered 6 affordable, accessible protein foods that work specifically well for bodies over 55. Cottage cheese for overnight muscle protection, canned salmon for complete nutrition including bone health, lentils for stable blood sugar and fiber, Greek yogurt for its dual-action protein, eggs for superior quality and easy digestion, and peanut butter for concentrated nutrition in small portions. We also discovered that timing matters enormously. spreading protein across the day, emphasizing breakfast, and eating protein after any physical activity all enhance results. These aren't complicated changes. They're simple food swaps and timing adjustments that fit into regular life. But there's still one protein source we haven't discussed yet, and it's the one that generates the most controversy and misunderstanding, especially among seniors. When I reveal what it is and explain the science behind it, some of you will be skeptical at first. I was too. But the research is absolutely clear, and once you understand why this food works the way it does, it might become one of your most valuable tools for maintaining strength and independence as you age. Stay with me for just a few more minutes, because this final revelation brings everything together in a surprising way. The single most misunderstood protein source for seniors, the one people actively avoid, is tofu. I know what you might be thinking right now. Tofu. That bland, weird texture thing? That's for vegetarians, not for me. But here's what the science actually shows, and this genuinely surprised me when I first learned it. Tofu contains a type of protein that is uniquely compatible with aging bodies. It's plant-based, but it's a complete protein containing all essential amino acids, something most plant proteins can't claim. More importantly, tofu contains compounds called isoflavones, which have been shown in research to specifically counteract age-related muscle loss. These isoflavones interact with receptors in your body in a way that helps preserve muscle tissue, especially in postmenopausal women, but also in men over 60. Studies following seniors who eat tofu regularly show significantly less muscle loss compared to those who don't, even when total protein intake is similar. Something about the specific compounds in tofu provides protection that other proteins don't offer. And here's what makes tofu especially valuable. It's exceptionally easy to digest. For seniors with sensitive stomachs, digestive issues, or difficulty processing heavy meats, tofu is incredibly gentle. Your body can break it down and absorb it with minimal digestive stress. Tofu is also remarkably versatile in texture. You can buy silken tofu that's smooth and soft, perfect for blending into smoothies or scrambling like eggs. You can buy firm tofu that you can cube, season, and bake or sauté. You can literally make it taste like whatever you want because it absorbs flavors beautifully. A block of tofu costs about $3 and contains roughly 40 grams of protein, the same as a pound of ground beef, but at a fraction of the price and with none of the saturated fat. For seniors on fixed incomes trying to build or maintain muscle, tofu is one of the most economical options available. Now, I understand if you've never cooked with tofu before, the idea might seem intimidating. But let me give you the simplest possible approach. Buy extra firm tofu. Press out the excess water by wrapping it in a kitchen towel and setting a plate on top for 10 minutes. Then cut it into cubes, toss with a little oil and your favorite seasonings. Garlic powder, soy sauce, whatever you like, and bake at 400 degrees for 25 minutes. You now have crispy, protein-rich cubes you can add to any meal. Or buy silken tofu. Blend it into a fruit smoothie with Greek yogurt and peanut butter, and you won't even know it's there, but you'll get an extra 10 grams of easily absorbed protein. The reason tofu is misunderstood is that for decades, it's been associated exclusively with vegetarian diets, and many seniors think it can't possibly be as good as meat. But the research on tofu and muscle preservation in older adults is genuinely compelling. You don't have to replace meat with tofu, but adding tofu to your rotation, even just once or twice a week, gives your body that unique combination of complete protein plus isoflavones that specifically protect aging muscles. And here's the final piece that ties everything together. Combining tofu with some of our other 6 foods creates even more powerful results. Tofu scrambled with eggs gives you multiple protein types in one meal. Tofu cubes added to lentil soup creates a complete amino acid profile with sustained energy. Tofu blended into a smoothie with Greek yogurt and peanut butter creates an incredibly rich, muscle-feeding meal. The key to building and maintaining muscle after 55 isn't finding one perfect food. It's using a variety of high-quality, affordable protein sources that work with your changing body instead of against it. Here's what I want you to take away from everything we've discussed today. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's changed, yes, and it has different needs now than it did at 35. But it's still fully capable of building strength, maintaining muscle, and supporting an active, independent life. These 7 protein sources, cottage cheese, canned salmon, lentils, Greek yogurt, eggs, peanut butter, and yes, even tofu, aren't magic foods. But they're perfectly matched to what your body needs now. They're affordable, they're accessible, and they work. You don't have to eat all of them. You don't have to change your entire diet overnight. Start with just 1 or 2 that appeal to you. Try cottage cheese before bed this week. Add an extra egg to breakfast tomorrow. Pick up a can of salmon next time you're at the store. Small changes, consistently applied, create remarkable results over time. And remember this, building muscle after 55 isn't just about appearance or fitness goals. It's about maintaining your independence. It's about being able to carry your own groceries, play with grandchildren, travel confidently, and live life on your terms. Every bite of protein you eat is an investment in your future mobility and freedom. You have more control over your health than you might realize, and you're taking action right now by learning and applying this information. That's something to feel genuinely proud of. Your best years aren't behind you. They're still being written, and how you nourish your body today plays a huge role in how that story unfolds. If you found real value in this video today, if you learned something useful, or if it gave you practical ideas you can start using immediately, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to this channel. I share new senior-friendly health insights every single week, always based on real research, always focused on practical application, and always with the goal of helping you live your strongest, most independent life. I'd love to have you as part of this community. Just click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself, and remember, you're more capable than you think.